Good morning, everyone. I just woke up not too long ago. I've only been asleep for about 3.5 hours, maybe close to 4. I got home close to midnight, and it was a little while before I could get to bed because I was playing a gig last night at OTPH. But yeah, I am a pacer today for the Racefest half marathon down in Charlotte, hence the pacer shirt. And I'm pacing 1:30, which is normally a 6:52 minute per mile pace, but this course is known to run a little long, so I will be probably running closer to 6:45 pace for the duration of it. I know last year when I was a pacer, it came in on my GPS close to 13.3 plus. I know we're not really supposed to pay too much attention to the GPS, but that's a bit egregious. It's still a good race. It's just a little bit long. So I like to treat my pacing gigs just like racing because it's someone's race, right? So I like to have all my gear ready. Of course, I'll have a pacer shirt. This is last year's shirt, so I don't know if this year will be the same color or not. If you've seen my channel at all, you know I wear Injinji toe socks pretty much exclusively. And this is the Injinji lightweight no-show. I like to wear the printed ones for races sometimes. I'm going to do my warm-up and cool-down in the ASICS Gel Nimbus 25, which is kind of becoming my favorite current easy day shoe. It's just extremely comfortable. I am going to wear the North Face BTN long haul shorts. BTN stands for Better Than Naked, by the way. That's the name of the model. And I have quite a few pairs of these, a lot of the split short variety, but the long haul ones, they have a lot of pocket space on the hips. Also, they have a lot of pocket space on the liners on both sides, and sometimes that's where I like to keep my gels. I shouldn't need this many gels for a half marathon, but I'm going to be doing quite a bit of warm-up and cool-down too. It's going to be a long day for me, and as tired as I am today, I'd rather have them and not need them. I'll probably take 2 of these today, maybe one at the start and one about halfway through. And then I did another poll to see which shoes I should use for my pacing duties, and the AlphaFly Next %2 won out. So we're going to be pacing in these today, and then I'll give some more thoughts on them. These have about 65 miles on them, and it includes the New York Marathon, which was pretty good for about 18 miles, and then it was kind of a death march. This was the year that New York was 74 degrees at the start, so everyone was having a tough day. I've also done a couple of long runs in these with some marathon miles included, and I did one short comparison run versus 3 other marathon shoes that I wish I still had. I wish I had my YouTube channel when I was doing that, because it would have been good. I might have to do another comparison run with some super shoes in the near future. And here's the most important part of my gear here. We're about to take this guy on a walk after I finish my coffee, and I'm trying to muster up as much energy as I can right now before my coffee. But Khan is just not having any of it right now. He would rather stay like this all day, and I really can't blame him. Oh, manna from heaven. So the weather out here, it is about 58 degrees, and the dew point is also about 58, so it's very humid, and that's about what I can expect in Charlotte today. It's not as warm as it had been forecasted in the past couple of days. It was going to be in the mid 60s at the start, so I'm very happy to not have that, although it will be kind of in the low 60s by the time I finish. Like I said, the temperature itself isn't all that bad. The dew point will make it uncomfortable. At that point, I would almost rather have rain, and there's not supposed to be any rain. I don't know what's got Khan's attention, but something in the bushes over there has him paying keen attention. But as you can tell, the asphalt is still wet from the rain we had last night, and it hasn't dried off because the dew point is still reasonably high. Let's get out of the way of this car, buddy. Come on. So yeah, it's going to be a pretty decent dew point today. And the course, Racefest Half Marathon, is like any half marathon in Charlotte, which means it's going to be rolling hills the whole way. A good, decent amount of elevation for a half marathon. The craft beer half marathon I did a couple weeks ago is comparatively flat, even though it has some hills in the beginning and the end. That one's mostly on a greenway. This one's going to be all on roads and all hilly. There's a particularly nasty hill in the last mile on Parkway Downs that just kind of takes it out of you if you're really going at race pace. So as a pacer, I'm really going to have to be cracking the whip in order to make sure people get up that and still stay on pace. And by the time you finish that one, you're about a half mile from the finish. So there's not a lot of time to kind of get your wits about you and get your wheels back under you, especially since you can get to where you can hear the finish line and almost see it, but then you still have to kind of go around a block in the shopping mall area in order to actually get to the finish line. So with the course being a little bit long, that can be a little bit demoralizing at the end of this one. So my work is cut out for me as a pacer. But yeah, it's still a fun event because there's a lot of people. It's one of the bigger races in Charlotte, other than, say, the Charlotte Marathon or around the Crown 10K. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get this guy fed, and then we're going to head on down to Charlotte.
Williman. You know, it's funny. I was thinking. I was close. I was thinking. I knew it started with W.
6739. Jacob.
I've never seen elevator restrooms before. There was the option of a tank top, so I went with that because it's going to be warm today. Just getting a little pre-race warm-up in with Corb. Corb's pacing the 10K. This boy Ralph is doing the half.
Are you guys ready? All right. Not all small town. You've done this race before. You know what I'm talking about. It is slick. As a reminder, it did rain yesterday, and there's dew out there. So just please be careful. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and they're off. Happy Charlotte Racefest 2023.
Smile, everyone. Came through 3 miles in a little over 20 minutes. Right on pace for a long course. Smile, everyone. Woo! It's a good-looking crew. Still a strong, tight grouping after almost 5 miles. Keep it up, guys. Through 6 miles, just over 40 minutes, 40 and a half. Still on pace. Mile markers are starting to spread out. Keep it up, guys. All right, guys, you're about 14 kilometers in. It's about 2/3 of the way done. 58 and a half minutes. Keep strong. Close to 11 miles in. Keep it on pace. Group is kind of strung out, but there's a battle going on for female podium here. Stay strong. Just past the mile 12 marker on Barclay Downs Hill. Last big uphill. Pretty strung out. That's how it goes. That fight for first female is going on. She's closed it to within a couple seconds. 13 miles.
Target?
Yep.
Right on target. Way to go. So came in at about 129.5, which is about target, but the course did read long, about 13.3. So I was running about 6:44s to do that, and in the past few miles, a lot of the pace group kind of fell off, which happens a lot, but with a hilly course that's long like this, you know, that's common. But the girl that was running with the pace group and pulling out ahead did in fact you know, catch first place and win the thing, so that was awfully fun to watch from where I was, see that battle unfold on the last hill at Barclay Downs. Yeah, so I'm gonna maybe join some of the other pace groups for my cool down. So the Nike AlphaFly Next Percent 2. Full disclosure, I did pay my own money for these, but I had a gift card that cut into that quite a bit, so I wasn't paying the full retail price. Otherwise, I don't know if I would have gotten it. Like I said, I've taken them on a marathon before. I've run New York in them, but that one's hard to be a gauge because that was such a hot day. Today it's pretty warm. I would say I'm probably not going to have this as my go-to racer. It's just a little big for me, a little bit clunky. It certainly does help. It's nice on the downhills and you do get that return, but I would probably use this the same way I would use the the Adidas Prime X Strong. It's kind of a long distance fast trainer where I do a lot of marathon miles. And I might run like a hilly marathon, and it's something where I'm not looking for a PR or something. So anyway, I was saying about the AlphaFly 2. I'm gonna probably use it as a long distance trainer. I could use it for some B races, something hilly. Like if I did Ellerby again, I could consider using it for that. Although I did kind of audition it the week before Ellerby, and I decided to go with the Endorphin Pro 3 instead. So yeah, I think if I were going to use a Nike race shoe, it would be the Vaporfly for an A race, or the Saucony Endorphin Pro 3, or the Hoka Rocket X2. I just want something that's a little bit less of a complex machine on my foot, but it's a fun shoe to run in. I just got a little bit, you know, squishy toward the end. I don't think my gait is one to really activate those AirPods or that particular shoe's geometry. That doesn't mean it won't work for you. Just want something a little bit more traditional for as far as super shoes go for my own racing. All right, I'm going to get some recovery food, and we'll call that a wrap. Thanks for watching. Here's the recovery food, Domino's Pizza. Good enough for me.